And that's only because that's all I know. I mean, if you say there's better peels than that are milder, that's fine. I just don't want you to use a heavy peel.
Okay, so nothing more than 20%.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Or whatever equivalent in any other type of peel you use. So,
Okay.
yes, dermaplaning you can do before, microdermabrasion you can do before. The chemical peel you could do after. But the other thing is to make sure at the end of the treatment you don't use anything that has a really heavy acid base, because then it's going to be painful. So things such as acetones or whatever else, then you don't want to use. Things like exercise, obviously they're not going to exercise for 24 hours because of the sweat getting into the injury, if you like. But other than that, it's going to be pretty basic as far as your contraindications. It'd be the same as you would do with a microdermabrasion as an example. So anything such as, high doses of blood thinners or controlled brittle diabetes or open sores or wounds, cold sores, those kinds of things are obviously things you're going to keep away from, but pretty much the same as what you have already as far as your contraindications for your other treatments, really. So when it comes to the device itself, obviously here we have, this is a waste canister, because what's going to happen, because we do have vacuum, we're going to waste some fluid, right? So we know that we give you 10 cc's of fluid, which is a lot of fluid. Superficially that's a lot. But we know you're going to lose some into here. So depending on the patient and how much you lose, you could lose anywhere from 1 mil to say 2.5 mils, depending. So roughly you're going to get anywhere from sort of 7.5 mils to 9 mils in the skin. So we know you're going to lose some. It really doesn't matter. These things, obviously, solutions like these are not expensive. It's not like you're losing money or anything like that. I mean, they're cheap. So again, what you want to do is make sure you empty this after every treatment. And I just want you to get in the habit of that. Obviously, this thing here is a little bigger. You could probably get away with 2 or 3, but I want you to get in the habit of emptying it after every treatment, because if any of the solution gets into here, then it's ruined. So just be cautious and say, okay, just remember every single time I'm just going to do that, and it becomes a habit, and that way you don't have to worry about it. So obviously from here, then we have the tubing here and a handpiece here. This is your on-off here, as you see here, and then your vacuum level here. Okay, so basically that's it. That's all you've got.
That's easy enough.
So it's easy enough. So okay, so what we're going to do, I can set it up. I can set the cartridge in and show you that. But then what I want to do is go through some troubleshooting. So if there's something, you come in and something's not working, whatever that is, then you can just say, okay, I just need to do this, this, and this, and then I can check what it is. And then, because what you don't want to do is either wait till you have clients in a room and trying to mess with stuff and things like that. So there's just some very, very simple things, because what I don't want you to do is call the office and say, okay, patient, I'm going to reschedule when you don't have to, right? So just some little things that you can do yourself without having to call anybody else, and just say, okay, this is the problem, or this is what it is. So obviously with this here, so this is your Dermafrac handpiece here. Then we have the cartridge, so you're just going to take this front end off here, and slide this in here, like that.
So nothing comes out the tip until you press something or start the machine?
Yes, because you have to create a vacuum, right? And so the only way to create a vacuum is if this is closed off, right? To create a vacuum. So then I'm going to take this back off here. And then this is your needle tip. And okay. And this just slides right on there. That's it. Important thing to keep in mind is when you do this, this is the normal way you're going to hold this. So this is pointing to the ceiling, if you like. So this is up. So if you have it like this, but you gotta make sure that this is on the right way. And what I mean by that is you see the hole here? So basically the hole is pointing down. You can slide this the other way around, but if you do that, it's not gonna work at all. So if you do that, it's not gonna work. Okay, so you just gotta remember that this always has to be in the down position, like so. Okay, I'm just gonna grab a glove here, is that okay?
I have extra large too, if you need extra
I
large.
don't think so. Okay. Okay. So basically what you want to do is hold this in your one hand and put your thumb over this hole. That's where you're going to get the occlusion, right? So that's where you're going to get fluid flowing and then you'll feel a vacuum. When it's off like this, you're not going to feel anything. I'm going to turn this on, and then I want to set this dial here, but this needs to be occluded, right? This needs to be occluded. So I'm going to put my thumb on here. And then you can see if I change this, that needle's going all over the place, right? So another thing that I want to do, I want to make sure I've got fluid flow. So I say, okay, great, I got fluid flowing. So now I want to put it to where the treatment setting is. And if you want to come over here, it's right at the top of the dark red.
Okay, see where that dial is?
It's right at the top of the dark red. Not up here, or down here, and not up here. So just right.
Like 75
Right there.
degrees.
Yeah, there's a little marker
Okay,
to where the
I see
needle,
that.
Yeah.
needle's supposed to be.
So
at.
that's your setting. So what that dictates two things. One is the depth of the needle, and then two, the fluid flow. So if you have it too high, you're going to create a bigger injury, but then also you're going to be halfway through the treatment, all the fluid's gone. You know, so that's the ideal setting. Now, if you do your full treatment, and then you say, okay, well, I want to be a little more aggressive, say on an acne scar here. Okay, you can do that. You can go over it a few more times. You can turn the vacuum up as well, so that stretches the skin more. So you can be a little bit more aggressive on that area. And the nice thing is with this treatment, the standard setting is that you can actually do the eyes and the lips. So you can do up to the eyelashes, top and bottom, and also the lips. If somebody is an elderly person and you feel a little bit wary, particularly under their eye, then just drop the vacuum down a little bit. You know, so you can control how you want to do this treatment. But usually for a standard treatment, you're going to be the top of the red, you're going to do the full face and the neck. And that would be a standard treatment. You're going to do maybe, depending on the fluid rate, depends on a couple of other things as well. It obviously depends on the surface area of the face, how big it is. You know, obviously, you know, a larger person is going to, you know, use more fluid, right? So, but pretty much the standard is 3 passes to the face and 1 to the neck. And you may have some left over. So then you can say, okay, well, I want to do another pass to the face because I want to be a little more aggressive. Or you can say, you know what, this person's had enough. And again, this is up to you guys, whether you say, you know, I've got a little bit left, I'm going to do the hands. Or I'm going to do the décolleté, or something like that. So again, it's entirely up to you how you set your menus. You may have those as standalone treatments. That's up to you. But again, if you don't have a guideline on that, or you say, you know what, if there's a little bit left over, let me just do your hands, and you know, you can do it. So the treatment time for the actual device itself should be about 20 minutes, and that's to get through everything.
We have it at 40. And that's just with like cleansing,
Right, because you're going to
Dermafrac,
cleanse it, then you're going
mask.
to put, you know, sunblock off, or in a mask, or whatever else after. So yeah, so that puts you around at 40 minutes. But the actual device time is about 20 minutes. Is that what you've been finding?
Yeah.
Okay. So, that being said, everything's great. So now we can say, okay, what about if something isn't working, right? So, obviously when we turn the machine on, you know, do we know it's working or not? Do we feel any vacuum? All right, so say for an example, we put everything together here, but I don't feel any vacuum here. Okay, so I want to do some troubleshooting on that. So you can say, okay, well, first of all, is this